Hello, I am here. I'm going to wait for the little thing on the side of my YouTube to update. I have a feeling that that is probably what the thing is based off of, but I'm going to be honest, like, the yap time, the yap cooldown, it's still completely unknown to me. Today, Katamari Damacy, again. It's kind of funny, because, like, in my head, I was like, Fridays, I will move Virtue's Last Reward to Monday, since I'm starting to stream on Monday, because that'll give me more time to do, like, one-off kinds of streams on Fridays. So, why am I 7 days later, after my whole thing, playing Katamari again? Well, to be honest, I've changed the definition, kind of, to allowing... Is this drift, by the way, or does he just, like, move? I think he just moves for a minute. I don't think that was drift. Let me just like let him sit there, and then we'll see if he just starts moving on his own again. I sure hope it's not drift. Like, this controller is not that old. No, okay, he just moves after a while. I would have started freaking out. You know, I don't have a whole ton of money to be thinking about controllers with drift and stuff. That would have been a little heartbreaking. Either way, Katamari, I figure that it's probably fine if on the one-off days I go ahead and do like shorter series as well as one-offs, because to be honest, streaming this game was some of the most fun that I had on stream. It gave me like the perfect amount of where like, oh, I have something to look at, and oh, I also have like a whole bunch of mental space to still stream. So I'll, you know, continue playing this. I think I might, like, play it until completion. I think that there's enough content here for it to end at, like, 2 or 3 streams, which I think is ideal for, like, a Sunday or a Friday kind of stream. And then, you know, Monday and Wednesday being, like, full streams. And also, it's probably okay, because Wednesday I also did do a one-off with the hand cam stream, which there are aspects of the hand cam stream that I would like to review. Many people already do know. I simply could not wait to reveal the truth of the matter. Let me mess with my veto settings, because I'm noticing a little bit, it's a little too high. Okay, I think this should be a little bit better. That way, like, you can actually, like, see me talking and stuff. I don't know if you could see whenever I moved my camera over, or my mouse over to the veto thing. Obviously, it's not a camera. It's not, like, actually me down there. I'm a real 3D person with flesh and blood, and I'm not, like, a 2D piece of paper that is flat Stanley imposed onto your screen. There's a little bit more to me than that. I know that it seems like I probably don't have a whole bunch of depth, but believe it or not, I actually do. Either way, I guess we can just go ahead and start. We don't want to talk to the cousins. I'm so sorry. There's nothing worse than doing that. It's kind of funny that, like, the, what's it called? I'm blanking. The FPS here ends up just dropping the second you get to this spot. We have a couple of options. We can do make a star 7, or we could do... Oh, did we do all of the constellations? I think we might actually have. Yeah, we totally did. So all the constellations are done. But also, I guess, like, before I get completely started, the past week has been very exciting for stream. I've had some of the, like, the hand cam stream did perform, like, very well live. And I've also had, like, continuous growth on a whole lot of the VODs and stuff. So it's been pretty exciting right now. Unfortunately, I have, like, slowed down on, like, editing and stuff. And that's probably something that I'll go ahead and talk about closer to the end of the stream, but I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about there. For now, though, we'll just play the game. Dzień dobry. Have you ever been to Poland? We go there often. I'm waiting for Lydia to release before anything. We hope you can visit during the days rolling, like that's possible. Almost forgot. Yes, a royal present for the hardworking prince. That's what we were thinking while walking the dog. Couldn't help but throw it towards Earth. We supposed it was too much to expect the dog to go fetch that far. Must be around somewhere, so roll it up while you're at it. Roll it up. Sending things to Earth. Hopefully good things. I think we failed, right? Didn't we try this and then we, like, actually just lost and then gave up? I'm pretty sure. because I think I have memories of Paula, not from visiting, but just from understanding what the King of the Cosmos has said and internalizing it for my own personal growth. This is how we improve as a society. But any longer, the King of all Cosmos can't expect to wait. We look forward to, I would like to see him try to roll like the Prince has. Oh, yeah, I remember this very well because he was minion maxing and he blocks off most of the screen. I think we just go ahead and follow the path, because I didn't do that the last time, but then I fear that I might be like a little bit of a rat falling for the old cheese trick. Can I spin a little bit? Oh, no, we can't. Disallowed due to the traffic system around me. I can't believe that the cars just end up hitting each other and then like killing a little prince guy. And then what are they going to do? They're not going to add anything safer. They're simply going to add another lane, and then, you know, it'll work for a little while, but then after a few years, expansion in the town will occur, and there will be a whole new set of residents that also need to drive places, and then they'll also get hit too. I think we need to have a little bit more foresight just so that the prince can effectively get around. Oh, also, one worrying thing about streaming the Katamari is that it makes me use the audio settings like no other game. So like every other game that I have streamed has ended up like you can just kind of rely on in-game stuff and I can turn it down freely with no worries. But then Katamari, I have to come through and then kind of preemptively set. I have to like look at the weather forecast, see that there's going to be a little bit of moisture in the air today and maybe it won't be the best for crops, and then understand how that will affect my my audio setup, because I have to go to the side where my little Focusrite is, and then I turn it way down because I have it like pretty loud because I actually have my computer super quiet. I know a lot of people prefer to have their computer like completely blaring, and I just don't understand. And maybe it's because like I actually just definitely do have like some level of tinnitus, but maybe that's why. But I can't understand people that have like their computers at like, oh, my computer's at 100 volume, because then you run into that problem, and I'm convinced that this is part of it, but it's definitely not all of it, because it still is true even on my computer where my like audio is set to a comfortable listening level. You end up going to like a game and you're like, oh, the game, whenever it opens, it goes boom, bow, 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 and it goes through like the 27 different logos that help produce the game like it's a DVD from 2005. You have to watch a little bit of commercials before you can get in and go to the settings and finally like make some changes so that you can have like functioning eardrums. It's an unbelievable process, and you'd think that they'd want it to be like as simple as possible, but I suppose not. We actually just can't get anywhere. This is kind of hard because I have to develop this ball to a point where I can pick everything up. And I guess I am getting to the point where I can start getting like buckets and stuff, but I can't make it to any of the other good spots for smaller items. And if I can't continue to grow my my ball, then like how am I supposed to work things out? I guess we can go over here. I don't know if we can get up here. We cannot. We just lost something with no meaning to it at all. We need to try to think about how we can gain rather than lose. Unfortunately, we do have to accept that it will just be a part of life. Any bicycles for us? No. We might be able to just kind of go out into the middle of the ocean and find something worth some kind of value, but I just don't know if that's going to happen for me. I don't know if we're making like any progress at all. That guy's not going to do anything for me. Any buckets? No. Maybe he'll find the watermelon eventually. He wanders the dunes consistently looking for the watermelon to improve his harvest. But unfortunately, he will never be eating watermelon. The watermelon expertly avoids him at every turn simply by standing still. And that teaches us something deeper about society, where if you don't try to go, like, if you don't do something that is worth growing for, then nobody will ever know. And so you have to take risks, and then once you take those risks, you'll finally see some success in your own life. And then maybe your ball will grow too. It's the end goal for all things. Can I pick you up? No, I cannot. We're just gonna go this way then and pick up the little, what are they called? I guess just like statues. I don't know if they're called statues. I have no idea. But we will go for the lily pads. It's kind of funny that we get like the whole radio experience in here where the music does get like weird sometimes, but then you just loop into some of the songs that you're used to hearing. Which, I mean, in Katamari fashion, the songs that you're used to hearing are like are a little bizarre. Just a little though. Let me loop around, then we can go for the rest of the sunflowers as well. We're gonna go for a rapid growth that we could not achieve before. We need to get the kid. The kid has been gotten, and I wonder if we can get the fully grown people as well. We just can't. He took that hit like a champ. Maybe he's too powerful under that thing. He's built like a JoJo's character. I think we can no, we can't. We can't get the sign. I lied. We can't get that either. Oh, it's a scary thing. Losing all your progress. Okay, we can get people. They fear me, which means that we've made good progress. Can we get the bear, or is he too powerful? He's too powerful. And then the old man and the, not the old man, the middle-aged man struggling with the button-up shirt is looking for me. We will pick up the pineapple hitter and then also try to get his enemy, though. If we get them both in the same room, perhaps they can work out their differences, and then the world will be better off for it. Pick up all the tube kids that are tubing around the sumo. He's got his own little gravitational pull. Okay. Strong progress. We can now get the watermelon. World peace has been achieved. It's unbelievable how simple things can be whenever people work together. It's the lesson that I learned from 999, and I think that it continues in the mini games. We turn around and then pick up what we missed. We also get you. Never mind, you're actually just attached. We will get the binoculars, though. We might lose a couple of fish, but we can't fret over every egg. And then we'll get you as well. I didn't want to leave you there drowning. That would have just been a little too cruel. Oh, we can pick up the bikers if we just forgo the bikes. And I mean, they're foregoing somewhere. We'll just help them get somewhere else. You can't always end up exactly where you had planned before in your life. You have to accept change. And now we can get the button-up dude as well. Our collection of people grows. They will make the stars more beautiful than ever. They assign the meaning. Oh, whoa. Hold on. He has powers that I simply cannot comprehend. We aren't there yet. We aren't there in my training. We'll go this way to kind of spin it. I don't know where he went. So I think we honestly might just like go up. I kind of really do want the man in the boat, but I don't think that is worth it. We will go up and then continue to grow this way. I think this will be a much speedier process and much better for us. We are getting chased down by a dangerous criminal at this point. We definitely do get the police officers as well. Was that a criminal? Hold on. We can stop crime as well. Unfortunately, I can't. He's just too tall. Maybe the gun should have been used on him instead, but I don't want to endorse violence personally. So, but like, I mean, they kind of just did start unloading on me, so I think it's only fair. Katamari is as big as 3,293 snappers. That's how people fish. They go, oh, here's my biggest catch. It's about 6 minnows in length. Or they get that tuna. Tuna is like shockingly huge, and it's something that like I just don't understand. Because whenever you get it, and like I feel like you get the serving of tuna for like unless you like have like real tuna, which I've never had real tuna. I'm sure it probably is like one of the greatest like food experiences that you can have, because just having like I think tuna is like the fish that non-fish eaters can eat, other than like tilapia, which thank you Toast for telling me that it was called tilapia instead of tapioca. I was honestly kind of lost for the longest time on the naming, but Tapioca just has like its own kind of like old person charm, which I think honestly makes it harder to eat nowadays, because I don't know anybody that's like, oh, I love tapioca. I would love to get some tapioca right now. We get the panda for sure. Can we get the rocks? We cannot. We'll get all the fence beams though. I don't see why we shouldn't. Oh, the car is unbeatable. Cars usually are, I suppose. Until I get this semi-truck sized or train sized and then won't be beat anymore. That's the kind of hubris. I apologize. I was about to start speaking with the kind of hubris that is the reason why people sit on train tracks and then like die. I don't know if you... Oh, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Exactly. Welcome, Blue. We've been rolling a lot. Unfortunately, my rolls have started with a little bit of unluckiness. We will not be getting the 6-meter ball on this banner. We will almost certainly need to get this on a different one. Distinctly remember this level like 3 or 4 times. I'm pretty sure I ended last stream failing this level. I honestly can't remember. What is happening? Where's all the cars coming from? I would love to pick up the robber though. He is part of the mass now, the hive mind. It's the hardest one. Oh, that honestly makes so much sense. What's cool about the game though, and this might sound a little psychotic, I really don't mind losing in this game, because then I just kind of go at it again and it's the same process. And then it's the kind of like mindlessness where like you talk to like gacha players or like whatever, and they're like, oh, you know, I play the gacha, but then I get kind of tired of the gameplay, so then I turn on the auto mode, and then as I get further, I kind of just end up watching the game rather than playing, just so I can roll. And even the vocabulary here like translates the exact same. Like, I get a little bored, so then I just keep rolling. I let the game kind of do its own thing, and then I do what I want to do. It's actually kind of incredible whenever you think about it. We probably could have gotten it. Hold on, that's so many people. I think if we swallow up an entire school, we hit 6 meters for sure. Oh, very close. I just don't know if we can do it right now, but we know the strategy. Just start swallowing people, and then you're unbeatable. Let's get the gate. Oh, never mind. We lost the school. We have a school of fish and a school of people. Unfortunately, it was not enough. You'd think the doubling up on the schools would bring the signs. Tepid. Tepid is no good for a star, but it'll do for stardust. So there's life even for the lukewarm-blooded. Not that we could strictly call that life. Don't come complaining if you catch a cold sitting in that tepid bath. Well, you'll get your stardust today, but do a hotter job next time. I'm so sorry, King. The King would expect something hotter, but I just don't know if I can satisfy him. Let's try again. It is not like the you do just have to click right bumper to go right, and I know that that just makes the most sense, but my mind can't comprehend that fact. It's kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest, Blue, the way that you talked about Katamari, I didn't realize that you had like played it to completion. Did you stream it, or did you like just play it on your own time? Because if you streamed it, I honestly might go watch that, because I kind of love the game. Even though I don't know what it is, but I think there's like certain games where it is just like, okay, I do understand why it would feel like completely mid, especially whenever like the process of the game is, oh, there's not really any depth. You kind of just do it over and over and over again. But I think that that's kind of like the charm of like these older arcadey games to me, where it's like, okay, I'm not like too concerned about the story and stuff, but like everything about the gameplay is just like fun to me. And like I could see well, not just see myself, I literally am like dumping hours into it, and like I finish playing it and I think about, oh, I could have had like so much more fun if I just kept playing the game. And then I log on to like Valorant or Tekken or something, and then I get hooked into like the action gameplay, and I'm like, man, this is stressing me out. Imagine how much more joyful I would be, how much more youthful. The years taken off my life whenever I get too invested in this. It's fun. This was on Nintendo Switch on public transport type beat. Oh, that makes sense. A while before you were even streaming. That actually would be like actually perfect for that kind of thing. I forget. I don't have the I've never had like the public transport experience, so even thinking about that is like oddly foreign to me, which probably sounds so weird. What is difficult to me, once you get the handle of the controls but you didn't like it on Joy-Con? Oh, I wonder why. Like, what makes it uniquely more difficult on Joy-Con? I suppose you haven't played it on a real controller, on a normal controller, I'll say, to not like completely demean the Joy-Con. But like the difficult things to me is knowing like how to turn, because you have to start pointing the things in different directions. You have to go like actually full piano on the thing, where you have to separate half of your mind, and then once you get that half of your mind separated, you can unlock the hidden power and then become like Beethoven, because you have to be able to spin the ball around by moving the sticks completely separately from each other. And I know that that sounds basically like playing any other game, but it's not. So like, you know, you have like a different experience. Like, I thought they were small. I thought they were just like tiny, but they were just emerging from the water. That was stupid of me. But it's kind of like playing a trumpet, where you have to, I have to maneuver my fingers and my mouth to play the notes. That is so easy. They're like separate entities. And then you have like a piano where it's like, oh no, I have to didn't somebody get scared? Didn't somebody start running? Am I crazy? Oh, I forgot about this spot over here. I don't know if you've used Joy-Con, but the thumbsticks on Joy-Cons are kind of trash. They do like drift and stuff. I did play on a Switch for a little while. I ended up selling it because like whenever Monster Hunter Rise came to PC, that was kind of like the only reason I had the thing for, and I would have preferred to have played it on PC initially in the first place. So I got off the Switch like actually pretty quick. The stick inputs are crazy at first. I think I didn't utilize the mechanic wind-up enough. Oh, that's true. I haven't touched the thing like at all. Other than whenever it's like, oh, I desperately need to get up this hill. And then I start panicking, and then I like, oh, try to fling up, and then I end up slamming into a wall, losing my entire like health. It's kind of like watching those old Tekken clips where Lei grabs the person, kicks them over, and then goes flying into the wall and then dies. We got the penguins. The wind-up was wiggling both sticks up and down. You are correct. It's honestly kind of difficult for me to hit still, which I think feels a little goofy whenever, because, you know, sometimes I desperately need to, like, get up somewhere, but I just can't figure it out. Hold on. He's running from me. It means that he's grabbable. It means that we will take him now. Somehow we can grab an entire person, but we still can't grab some binoculars. Oh, hold on. Hold on, fear me. It is over for you. Did I already get him? Oh, my bad. I did not get him. We got him now. But the controls, and I feel like it's kind of part of it, honestly, which is kind of weird. Because most of these games in the past had these like weird jank controls that you had to kind of, I guess, learn is the nice way to say it, but kind of learn to work with, I think would be the better way to say it. Where it's like the things are actively fighting you, trying to ruin everything that you've ever known. Where you like step in and then you learn that the controls had actively killed your dog just because that you wanted to like go up a hill. But then eventually, like after a little while, you get good enough at them and you're like, oh, the learning curve actually was kind of fun a little bit. But also I think I would have preferred it at the beginning if I could have just like moved as intended. It'd be like being forced to use a wheelchair that was controlled with like your toes as opposed to like your hands. Like you had to pull on strings with your toes. Like if you ever like broken your leg. I guess we just immediately go into slaughtering the entire town, because we are making far better time this time. It's called mastery. It's improvement. I can't help but improve. Well, I mean, I guess that would be the goal. I think most people usually can't. where you do something long enough, then you know, you'll kind of naturally get better at it. But saying like, oh, I can't help it, kind of gives it like a vibe where it's like, oh, I'm born to improve. But whenever you think about it, it actually just means nothing. Go ahead and continue destroying everything. I kind of despise the people walking around carrying boulders, and it's not just this game with like the weirder controls too. You think about older games and stuff, and sometimes it really was okay, we'll make the controls just needlessly difficult to navigate just to make the learning curve a little more intense. And like half the gimmick in old games, old arcade games, was just like, oh, what if we made you lose over and over again? And that's just what people like enjoyed. I know that's how it was. Like, I loved Monkey Ball whenever I was growing up. Super Monkey Ball 2 was just like one of my favorite games to play. And that game pretty much entirely is just keep losing over and over until you finally find the exact correct point to point your stick to get launched to the spot of the stage that you need to go. Hold on, I'm so dead. Is there like a fall off the map point? I didn't think that I'd go flying like that. I think we need to get those tuna. Or is it tuna? No, it's salmon, I believe. It is salmon. Tuna would be way larger. That's how we measure things. We snappers as opposed to tuna. Tuna is made up of mini snappers. Or salmon. I'm sure that we can measure with salmon as well. It's crazy that people had to just like make up measurement systems where you end up with the weird ones, like and then people act smug about them too. And obviously this is not just like an American thing, but you end up in a spot where like you have the British people and they're like, oh, I'm so cool for not using the imperial system. And then you're like, oh, how much do you weigh? 13 stone. What does that mean? Oh, it's however many pounds. Pounds? I thought you were on the correct system. And it's crazy that they're willing to just act confident about it whenever like they're like, oh, but we use kilometers, so we're better off than you. It's like, you use kilometers, but the rest of the thing is more made up than like anything else is. You're literally going off of like, oh, I think we need this piece of plywood to be about 13 by 15 salmon. We can't have it weigh any more than 60 rocks, or else the entire structure will collapse. You use miles? Oh, welcome Ginja. True, Joe Bob, true. I've completely misunderstood the British system. I thought y'all were already on kilometers. Aren't y'all making the switch? The true Brit is here. I can't just make fun of them and make things up. What am I gonna do? I swear that I read that y'all were making the transition. That might have just been cope though. Like somebody was like, oh, I really hope that we go to kilometers soon, and then you can actually identify with the rest of the world. Like, I think I can accept being made fun of by maybe Europeans at large. But whenever it's just the weird amalgamation, you thought we used kilometers? The Americans? There's no way. I wonder if it'll ever get switched over here. I think if anybody does make the switch, it just will be the UK. Because I think the Americans are too stubborn to like ever make the switch, and also it would be expensive or whatever, right? To make the switch. Because I know with like y'all, obviously you have a little bit more in common with like the EU, and then like the European system, kind of the metric system, I guess I should call it, because it's not just Europeans using it, it is just like most of the world, right? It does make, you know, a little bit more sense than like, oh, 1700 yards is a mile. I don't even think that's right. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't even tell you confidently how many yards are in a mile. 3 feet in a yard, and then it jumps up to like, oh, you need like 1600 of these things to make an entire mile. But no, I think if anybody were to switch, I think it's going to be the British people going to kilometers. I think that's a little weird though, because like you're so close in contact with like the rest of Europe, and then if they come and visit, then they just have to accept that they're not going to know how to like navigate anything. Also, now that there's people here, how's the audio, by the way? Is the game volume comfortable, or is it too loud? It's a little hard for me to know at this game. I kind of need to learn the decibel points for comfortable listening between me and the game. I also was leaning a little bit back from the chair as well. I am so close to winning. I'm so close. Can I please just pick up a car? Oh, yes, I can. Good balance. That's great. I was worried that I probably had it all wrong, but it's good to know that I didn't. How can we still not pick up trees? I might have messed up. I probably need to go back up the hill. I wonder if the little seagull boat will help us. Oh, it helps us, but I just don't know if it's enough. We go up the side of the hill over here. We're at 583. We desperately need to get something quick, though. And if we can, then we've made it, but I'm kind of worried. Like, very. Oh, just let me through. Let me through. Give me the truck. Oh, my God. We need just a little more. We did it. Okay. Oh, we made it. It's got 2 gates you can absorb and go inside. Am I crazy? I absorbed the upstairs gates, and I haven't heard anything of changing over from miles to kilometers. Not even sure where one would find information like that. Honestly, it's just going to be people making stuff up on social media. Or, hear me out on this, it might just be like my mind making things up. Because, like, it wouldn't be, like, too unbelievable that it would. He did it. I know it's unbelievable, right? We would love to have a much bigger, super shiny Katamari. I'll see what I can get you in, like, the 3 seconds that we have remaining. Otherwise, I think I'm just gonna go upstairs. I realize that, like, you know, a lot of the times whenever I hear things about, like, Europe or whatever, most of it is just going to be from the online social media space, and I feel like Europe and, like, UK and Europe at large is what I'll say, has so much just made up about them that there's no way for me to confirm if it's true or not, because I think people will be like, oh, those stupid Americans won't know whenever I say that all Italians still eat maggot cheese. And it's like, well, I guess not, because I've never been to Europe. There's a garden on the very first level of the map by the beach, I think. I recall winning one last minute by entering that area. Weird that you remember this. That means it stuck with you. It impacted you and changed you as a person. The ever-increasing size of your balls left an impact on you. And for some people, that would be a negative impact, but for you, that was a positive thing. 6 meters, 13 centimeters, 3 millimeters. It was the first goal, but it's not very exciting, is it? Next time we want a much bigger one. Oh, man. I can never satisfy. Number 1 is fruit. Number 3 is vegetables. What does that say about us? We're incredibly healthy on this channel. That's average. We've got nice average sized ball. And I was watching, speaking of just like making things up, I was trying to find somewhere because I was visiting my family. Which whenever I visit them, I guess I'll actually just talk after this. Here's the bus to the Space Center. Okay. It's unbelievable how uncomfortable they've made, like, the cutscenes. I know that it's, like, it's kind of like little cutesy stuff, but whenever they look at me, I just, feel fear. It's a visceral response. Thank you for censor, YouTube. What do you mean? What censored? What happened? But, honestly, that didn't do anything. But I was visiting my family. Whenever I visit my family, they do just have like, oh, 70-inch TV. So then I get to watch on like the biggest screen of all time. Your message? Oh. Were you talking about... What were you talking about? If you can like find a way to like cryptically include it. I feel like I've gotten some like crazy messages in your chat in particular, which is shocking to me. Maybe I have an in at YouTube and they're like, oh, go ahead and greenlight everything. I was definitely not talking about balls. I kind of figured. Maybe the intense size that you were able to achieve, it got away. To tell you the truth, we were also making a constellation. I have like, I feel like a 4-year-old sometimes. Because I go through this game, and it is just like, oh, balls. Oh, look at how big his balls are. Am I right, guys? Like a little nudge nudge, a wink wink, balls. To tell you the truth, we were also making a constellation, Taurus to be exact, a parent that leaves all the work to the child that looks deadbeat, yes. So we were finally done, and then the last one gets away. Shoot, stupid cow, we are sick of it. So just go roll us up one cow, and roll up your present too. I'm sure that your balls were unbelievably huge whenever you were playing with them in public transport. That's all I have to say about that. I know that you have like the energy for it to be playing with your massive balls directly in public transport. Just one, that's all we need, one cow. We're just missing one last cow. So give us the largest cow that you can find. We shall be patient for 10 minutes. We leave you to your work. Thank you. Okay, I honestly don't know how to get past here. I guess we take some cats first, because it's a cow? It's milk! What do you mean? You got a cow? We can relax now. What is that? A microscopic cow? We didn't lose a teeny tiny cow like this. Fine, we'll somehow manage to make a Taurus out of this, but next time get a much bigger cow rolled up. We will now release it into the sky with a deafening moo. Oh, I didn't think that I'd get punished like that. I thought it was good to just start collecting stuff so that I could find a bigger cow. Can I just suck up any cow that like I want? Do I have to find it? So true? You weren't supposed to agree with that. You were supposed to say not true, false, defend your honor. I feel the cosmos. The cowsmos. Taurus came charging back through the milk carton. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I'm sure you can guess probably what the drink was. Ginja, are you still here, by the way? I have to get something off my chest if you're still here. We'll just go ahead and go into the next level as well. Zardsvit. Have you ever been to Russia? Definitely water, definitely water. So, can I talk about some of the behind the scenes of the handcam stream? We hope you can visit during the days rolling, like that's possible. Oh yes, almost forgot. Oh yes, a royal present for the hard-working prince. That's what we were thinking, but we didn't bother to actually get one. But we're sure there's something down there, something that looks like a present. It's Earth after all, they have everything. Roll it up while you're at it. So with the hand cam stream, there's a couple of behind the scenes things where I was like struggling to get it set up. But I did the hand cam stream for one reason. And it was to do a bit. And this bit, in my mind, but any longer than that, and we can't be expected to wait. I get a full 18 minutes on this. They're about to start giving me like a whole hour to roll things up. We look forward to a nice Katamari. But the entire point of the stream was I think it would be funny if there was a guy that was desperately like addicted to like soda and was like to the point where it was affecting like the environment around him on a stream. And so to be honest with you, over the past like week or month or so, as I've slowly consumed my Coke Zeros, I've been collecting the empty bottles. And I don't think I even drank one full Coke Zero on stream the other day. I think that if I had to guess how much Coke Zero I had to drink, I probably drank like half of a bottle total. Sounds like retroactive excuses to me. No, I swear it's true. I swear it's real. I don't actually drink that much Coke Zero. I do love Coke Zero, but I drink like a normal person's amount. And like I do get like happier whenever I drink the Coke Zero, but like it's a normal amount of happiness. It's not like an addictions level of happiness, you know? Like like it's a normal amount of joy where I look forward to like getting home from work and having my Coke Zero, or even having the Coke Zero at work if I forgot to make a coffee. That was most certainly real. What do you mean? You know it's not. Stop. I already revealed it to you. And what was incredible is that everybody did think that it was real. Every sip, I had like a few not big. I had a few Coke Zero bottles partially drank out of. That were like that I had to cycle through. So I had the one that was like full, and I had one that was just a little drinking out of. Then I had one that was basically empty. And every time I would take a sip, I would switch it out with the one that was kind of partially drinking out of. And then I would switch it out with the one that was basically empty. And then I would bring the one that was basically empty up, and then I would just lean over. Because I had a pile of these things on the ground. Just sitting next to me, ready to be consumed. Not consumed, I mean they're empty, but ready to be placed to look like I had consumed them. And then I would switch it out with an empty bottle of Coke Zero. And I actually had more than what I used on the stream, but at some point Jury was like, if this was a higher resolution, then you would be doxxed right now, and that actually scared me away for a little bit. I almost gave up on the bit, like, part of the way through, because whenever Jury was like, I could almost see you through that Coke Zero bottle, I was like, what if the clear ones make it easier for me to be seen? But then I thought, if this is how I end up getting doxxed, this is how I end up getting doxxed, and then at least it would have been funny that I doxxed myself because I thought some Coke Zeros would be funny to me. But I think if I had to guess, I probably had like 10 empty Coke Zero bottles next to me, and I only got to like 6 on screen before I started accidentally like knocking them over and stuff near the end of stream. That's far too elaborate to be believable, Joe Bob. You'll be shocked about the kind of smarts that I have. Trust me, I've got all kinds of thoughts in here, such as I can make balls jokes while playing Katamari. Whenever he said banana earlier, I said that he was minion maxing. Sometimes, whenever I wake up, I snooze the alarm and then just sleep until 3 p.m. These are all the signs of a well-prepared, well-educated person. I think we just go over here now. Oh, monster truck. Maybe this was a bad choice. I'm kind of stuck under. There's a parade going on, though. I'm accidentally turning and I can't handle it. But honestly, like, it worked better than I ever could have imagined. Because, like, I pulled some IRL friends into a call after it because they had tuned in. Because I was like, oh, this is a big stream. It's new for me. It's important. So if you can tune in, I would appreciate it. Because I also wanted them to think that I was a freak, but I thought my acting was a little too forced. So, like, I remember pointing to the camera and being like, oh, I love Coke Zero, and then kind of pointing it out a little bit as I started moving the things into frame, because I thought that would be obvious in and of itself. Like, I've got an entire desk next to me. Why would I have all the Coke Zeros just on stream next to me? And I was like, this is going to be the worst performed thing of all time, and they're all going to immediately call me out. And I remember getting to, like, Coke Zero number 4, and one of my friends in chat was like, how are there 4 there already? I'm like, you aren't supposed to be freaking out yet. Because I thought they had maybe already caught on. Because I was like, 4, and then I think it was a transition. It was like, oh, 4 isn't that much. 4 isn't that much. Because part of the fun, too, would be like, oh, let me just insist that this is the same thing as water. And that there actually is no discernible difference from drinking tons and tons of Coke Zero versus anything else. I would like to steal all of your art, please. You are so convincing that it's definitely going to stick as a permanent bit. I realized that, too. Because, whenever I thought of the bit, I ran it by Jury initially, and I think I can't remember what she said, but I do know that she was like, "Why did you tell me? I would have preferred to have seen this on stream." I was like, "Oh, my bad." And then so because of that, she was also like playing into it on stream, and I don't know if it was like intentional, because on stream she was like, oh, so what's all the big deal with like the Coke Zero? And then that was my my transition into directly talking about it and maybe going all the way in on the bit. So I was almost scared out of the bit because of the doxing, but I think that being brought up actually cemented the bit happening, which is definitely for the best, because I think it worked out way too well. Like, way too well. If people that I know, like, personally, were able to believe it, then there's probably, like, a slight issue there. And then yesterday, you know, during her stream, she immediately goes into, like, hitting me with the Coke Zero bit, but, like, in her stream, where it's like, oh no. Now the people in the jury community that, like, don't watch me, they also are sold on the Coke Zero bit. That's my reputation now. Like, I've been changed permanently in people's eyes. You are now Joe Bob the Coke Zero guy. Anything else you've ever done is irrelevant. Yeah, I think that that's just real now. Because, like, most people don't know. And most people aren't going to, like, hear this. And then even if they do, most people aren't going to care, I think. They'll be like, oh, but you, like, did that. They'll be like, yeah, I did do that. And even then, it might end up being like a conspiracy kind of moment, where it's like, okay, we got all these fires in California, but did you know about the lasers in space? And I'll be like, oh, but I didn't actually drink the Coke Zero. And they'll be like, oh, but then who did? Who did drink all that Coke Zero? It wouldn't just disappear. You know, I drank it before, but, like, not all at once. Be like, okay. You know, people have gotten away with things by trying to pull that excuse before, but I'm just not willing to buy it anymore. I think that you're actually just like that, and I just have to accept that that's now the personality that I have. Like, and to be fair to, like, Coke Zero deniers, to an extent, I think that Coke Zero actually is treated like an identity, probably more than, I won't say more than any other drink, but definitely, like, more than it should be. Because I think, like, normal Coca-Cola drinkers, normal Pepsi drinkers, they're definitely freaks, but they aren't, like, repping it, like, the same way that a Coke Zero drinker will, where you're simply talking about drinks, and then, like, I do have the urge to kind of be like, okay, but have you tried Coke Zero? It's the greatest thing of all time, and it's 0 calories, and you're like, let me drink my Big Red, because you're a freak. Because, like, out of the sodas, I think Big Red drinking makes probably the least sense to me. I don't know how somebody ends up becoming a Big Red person. I honestly don't know how Big Red's, like, still in business. It kind of just tastes like trash. I think I liked it as a kid, and then, like, the switching point for me was I remember getting, like, a Big Red cereal. What the heck is Big Red? Oh, I wonder if it's not a thing in the UK. Big Red is just like this drink where it's this bright neon red. It comes in this bright red can, and it tastes like it's very sweet. It's very sweet, and it makes me feel sick after I drink it. It kind of has like a, like, for me, I like Fanta fine. I like orange soda fine. But if I were to drink it on a car trip, I would simply eject everything everywhere, because it sticks with me in a way that makes me feel sick. And I think Big Red hits that similar kind of feel, except probably even more extreme. And I don't even think that it tastes as good as, like, an orange soda. Is it one of those things that's illegal to consume outside of the US because of toxic ingredients? I honestly have no idea. That would be worth looking up, though. Like, I know that we have, like, energy drinks or whatever in the US that can't be consumed outside of the US, right? Because it's simply too much. And if a British person were to drink it, they would literally, like, implode and die. That's because the freedom has trained us to be stronger. Hold on, we need to finish getting the entire baseball team. Oh, we lost a player? We won't make it to finals at this rate. Can we please stop losing the baseball players? We can lose anybody else, but I would like to keep them. It takes so much time. You have a lot of food and drinks that way? Is it really that much? I mean, I guess, like, I would say at least they taste good, but I think most of the ones that are, like, banned like that just don't even taste good. Like, they're not worth it. You, like, try it and you're like, okay, I can see why the rest of the world would lock this away. We're kind of like acting as like the quarantine spot for all the bad foods. Not to say that American food is bad, because I think American food is really good, but all the like bad, like overly sweet foods, if that makes sense, that could only exist in America because, you know, we have a reputation to uphold. 5 meters, finally. This one's not as big as we thought it would be either. Your Katamari is 1 keto residence. I think we might be able to start picking up houses in this level, which will actually bring me so much joy. It's also a reason a lot of American versions of global stuff taste so different. Yeah, I didn't know the extent of that because, you know, I've never been outside of America other than like only technically, so my knowledge of the American sweets outside of America is actually super minimal. I know that, like, I believe there's like certain candies and stuff that end up tasting like super different because of the amount of sugar. Isn't sugar like the main thing where it's like they use they use a ton here and then it's just like lowered elsewhere? Oh, I'm just not big enough. I'm too big, but I'm not big enough. Sorry. My focus like actually partially shifted to trying to get out of that, like out of the thing. I would need to see a list of like things that taste substantially different in other parts of the world, as weird as that sounds. Because it could be like a lot of different things that end up like changing it like that, I guess. Okay, we're growing crazy. You're surprised we have a lifespan greater than 50? It is just like that, you know, modern medicine is kind of like insane. It's unbelievable that we live as long as we do for like how poorly we live our lives. Go to work. I forgot to make something for lunch today. I'll just go ahead and have like I could have like a box at Taco Bell, but then, like, you know, I really also want to try the Cheez-It Crunchwrap Supreme, so I'll go ahead and get one of those as well. But my favorite item on the menu is just like the chicken cantina quesadilla. We might as well grab one of those as well. You know, and this will probably hold me over until I get home from work. I think we'll be okay. And then you get home from work and you're like, oh, I'll just have a sandwich whenever I get home from work. Also, I'm the size of like a planet now. This is insane, and we're only 5 minutes in. This is the best that I've ever played. I think we just do start picking things up. You can hear the never-ending gunshots from like the police around me. I assume they're going to start sending in like the military. I don't know if you've ever played like Jet Set Radio, but one of my favorite parts of Jet Set Radio is you start like hitting stuff with a little too much graffiti and they're like, okay, start sending in the nuclear missiles. This will be how we deal with some rambunctious teenagers that are tagging buildings and stuff. It's actually difficult to move around because of how big that I am. The king of all cosmos or whatever better like be the nicest he's ever been to me is all I'll say. But I think modern, and then like you're like, oh no, I fell into cardiac arrest after eating the entire Taco Bell menu, and then you go to the hospital and they're like, okay, your life has been saved. Also, you might owe like $6 billion, but at least you've made it this far. Oh, it's incredible. They're trying to just like rebuild the town already. It's not worth it. Imagine being the guy up above in that hot air balloon, having to look down in horror as a mass of everything that you have ever known gets sucked away into an ever-increasing ball of destruction. Playing Halo Forge and buying the death ball and flinging it at the other players. It's just fun. I don't even know what I can pick up anymore. I think we're actually going to hit like every possible item before the end. The only thing holding me back now is that hot air balloon. Pretty much, we might even be able to get the bear. We did. I wish they would stop shooting me though, because it's kind of throwing me off. I don't know if you noticed, but like during the talking process, I kind of had a flow going, and then they started going pew 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 pew, and then it distracted my brain enough to the point where I wasn't able to get a few words out. And then because you get to that point where it's like, oh no, I had an entire like process in mind. I was walking down the stairs, and then I missed one stair, and then all of a sudden I'm falling down an entire ladder and self-imploding. It's over for me. My hip is broken, my legs have basically combusted, and there's nothing that I can do anymore. I'm never walking again. And also I have like a blood clot because of all the McDonald's that I've consumed, but somehow I'm making it to 85 years old. And then after that, I'm still going to like be alive. I'll just be like in a nursing home for like 15 more years before I die at 100. The normal like age, what's the lifespan? The average lifespan probably by the end of like our lifespan, and I'm including you in this, Ginja. I know that you're old, but you're like you're not that old. You still get to participate in the modern amenities. I think it'll actually be like closer to the hundreds. And they'll be like, oh, I'm like 95, but I'm still riding my bike and able to make it. Because like the modern experience is like, oh, just live forever, I guess. That's what it feels like sometimes. So we got some fossils. I didn't realize that we had actually caved out the entire like world. The head is started. We're absorbing clouds at this point too. Oh no, only 30 seconds left. I hope we can make it to 12 meters. Oh, I got the hot air balloon. It's just not even attached to the thing though. Can I go up anywhere to get something new? Where am I getting shot from? Oh, do you think it's somewhere within the ball itself? That's what's happening inside of your body whenever you eat all the Taco Bell. The white blood cells have to start working a little bit of overtime, that way that you can even live at all. Get yourself like a little bit of a power up. 25 meters, 65 centimeters, 9 millimeters, 3 exclamation points. That's the mark that he loves me for the first time ever. Yeah, but as the average lifespan increases, so does the retirement age. I'll be working until I'm 90 if I make it that far. Oh, I didn't want to think about that aspect of things. Surely you just make it far enough, make enough money, and then, you know, retire a little bit before then. Can you imagine how depressing that would be? Because right now the average retirement age is probably like 60, right? Probably 60, if I had to assume. I actually have not looked into it, so I'm completely speaking ignorantly. I'm still in my early 20s, so there's no reason for me to know the average retirement age yet. But then it's like, oh, but now I'm hitting 60 and the average retirement age is slowly climbing up to like 80 because 65-year-olds are as capable as a 45-year-old now. We are moved to tears by the size of this thing. This is so incredible. Happy, happy, so happy. We want to turn it into a star right now. Pretty sure for us it just went up to the 70s. That can't be real. That's so bad. Oh my god. The thing that you collected the most of is plants. I guess that makes sense after you like absorb everything. We got plants, partitions, and roadways. My Earth really is full of things. I read that like my Earth as if he's claiming ownership of it, but it's just like my Earth. No gas. No gas. We will now release it into the sky. This is the most beautiful star that I will have ever created. It'll probably act as a second sun. Would. Yeah, I suppose I would. The Space Center. There's no Earth anymore. We've completely obliterated it. They're larger than I expected, these space rockets, and so nice. Now I want to be an astronaut too. Little kid missed the memo that we're supposed to want to be YouTubers when we grow up now. Speaking of your father, where can he be? Am I right? Am I right? Ha, those kids sure are stupid, right? They sure do don't dream about big things. To be continued. Oh my god, they're ending on a cliffhanger? It's unbelievable. Let me save. I feel like that was a good enough star that I would be like actually distraught if I ended up losing my progress. I don't even know like what's left anymore. What's left of the world anyway. We can make a star, or we can make Virgo. It's still 66, but I'm sure I heard somewhere that it's going up. I can hit you with the where would you even hear things like that? You hear it on like social media and then you like dream it up. But like 66 is pretty close to 70, right? But like 70s implies in the middle, maybe not in the middle of the 70s, but you know, I would like to retire at a reasonable point. I don't think that I can make it until like, oh, I'm 70 and I'm still working the same job. I would rather not. UK gov site, yeah, that makes sense. I was talking about the rumor though. You word of mouth it enough, and then you kind of just start misunderstanding literally everything. There's no way to fact check certain, well, I mean, there is a way to fact check certain things, but there's like certain types of things where you're like, I'm not going to fact check that. You hear it and you're like, oh, the retirement age really went up into the 70s, that's crazy. And you're like, I'm not going to like say, hey, give me a minute, and then pull out my phone and then just desperately try to fact check them. Can you imagine how miserable it would be? What is it? It's lacking a certain something. Is it our royal present? No, that's not it. Prettiness. The sky is not pretty at all. It's rough and masculine, possibly sweaty. What we want is pure girlish prettiness. There should be loads of maidens like those on Earth. Oh, I see. The king of cosmos is just looking for a maiden. I don't even know how to win these levels anymore. If I like grab a cop, will he say anything? The earth sure is full of pretty maidens. This is another lucky day for the prince. Days like this don't come along often. Roll up as many as you can make, as maiden rich a Katamari as you can, for a beautiful constellation, for a super fab pretty sky. The king is maidenless, not for long. Oh my god. After we help him, I just got kicked down the hill. I wasn't even looking. They just ran directly into me. We look forward to it, frisky prince. Oh. The king is looking for a certain kind of constellation. He wants a certain experience. Well, was she attached to a balloon? I think she was. Let me fact check that there's no maidens in the sky. Sorry, king, I just don't believe you. Every word that you say is not to be trusted. I guess there's not like a specific target that we're trying to hit. We just keep rolling. I kind of like these rounds because then I'm not as worried about it. And it's like, yeah, I would like to have like 2,700 maidens in my balls, but if I only can get 2, then I can only get 2, and then that's okay. Life is what life will continue, just like without a maiden. We can live the maidenless life. The wifeless life? I don't know, that felt forced. I'm sorry. We're just trying to make a star. We go for the flowers and the swimming experience as well. It was weird the other day. I've been watching Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. And whenever I was visiting my parents, like I was about to go on this tirade earlier. They have this really big TV, so I like to watch stuff on their really big TV whenever I'm visiting them. And so I was watching Standalone Complex, and on there, I believe I first tried to find it on Amazon, and I got hit with like old trailer. The old trailer feel that you would get like in a DVD case, and I'm not sure when it changed, but at some point trailers went from like the dude with the voice, and you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, the character has to go around and go into the dream world to see what's happening, but I can't do the voice. I apologize for even trying. I'm stuck. But then eventually, like, it just switched, and I don't know when that change occurred, but then it became like, oh, let's just make a whole bunch of really bassy noises, and then it'll go like wah, wah, and then put the like remix of an old song in there, like preferably like a song from the 80s or something, and then you've got like the perfect like nostalgia feel. And I don't know when that. Now they're all just true, and it feels like some of the charm has gone away. They feel kind of plain, but like those like voice trailers were definitely just as plain back then, but they're so cheesy that they almost have like entertainment value like still. And obviously, like, making, like, a fake trailer doing that voice would be, like, completely out of touch. But I think that it has more appeal than the Blom. And eventually, I don't know what happened, but eventually, like, game trailers started going through that, too. I was watching the Summer Games Fest, which, by the way, was a lot better this year than, like, any other year. Which, you know, very low bar. But like the games are starting to go that way too. You'll just be watching like some indie game trailer and then they'll have like the gameplay interspersed and they'll throw the crazy bassy noise where it's like boom, and you'll be expected to accept that as well. I feel like trailers have gotten more cinematic than they ever have been, and I don't know why. I guess let's move to the left here. And maybe it's because games themselves have gotten more cinematic, but not all games have. I think people just like the giant bass noise. I'm pretty sure I also heard like there was a shooter game that had like the generic like let's choose a nostalgia song. Old trailers are definitely better. I think I agree too, but like I'm also biased because that would have been what I was hearing like on my like DVDs and stuff growing up. Because they hadn't been phased out yet whenever I was a kid. So it must have been like a 2010s kind of shift. Maybe it began in the late ooze. Where in the late ooze they're like, oh, these people sure do like listening to these crazy big bass noises. Maybe it had to do with like trailers on the internet. Because then you have to like think about clicks and stuff, and then you can kind of just get away with showing people whatever garbage you want whenever they sit down in a movie theater or watch it on TV, and you know, they don't really have a choice. What are they gonna do? Walk away? I mean, that's an option, but most likely they're just not doing that. They're going through the experience. Our ball has so many people that it has legs. We're walkable now. We talk about walkable cities. What about walkable balls? Let's go for the... Can we get the statue? I don't think we can, no. We can get the telescopes, though. We've also got a whole... Oh, I bet the statues count as maidens. You're filming the wrong way. You should be aiming for the ball. Let's go over here as well. Please, 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 please. Let me up. Thank you. We're making it happen. Okay. Then we spread some of the joy. And then go to the right. I'm gonna start talking about this like it's a little strategic fighter. It's kind of funny watching people like I was watching you know, most streamer content. I feel like most good streamer content, they usually do have like stuff to add, and you know, you catch them in like weird spots where it is just like, okay, I am out of ideas, and then you end up in like let me go flat game commentary talk. Or you just end up invested into the game, so then you go flat commentary talk, and I know that some people actually prefer a little bit more silence, but whenever I'm like watching games or whatever, that group photo was a bust. Whenever what was I saying? Oh, wait, yeah. Whenever you, like, so you get invested into the game, it becomes, like, more difficult to just completely riff off of stuff. Because then you're like, oh, but I need to, like, roll up this hill, and then if I get hit by this car, I'm gonna lose all the maidens that I've ever known. So then you end up in an awkward spot where it's like, we will gently roll up the hill and absorb the police officer. If the police were to catch us, that would be harmful to our objective. And also, we need to look for anything that can support us, and you start saying like the most obvious thing in the world in desperation to try to find any link at all. Or you could sit in complete and utter silence, but then you end up with like a different problem. Can you imagine like going for like a pure silent stream? I think that would make a funny stream too. Actually, hold on, I have an idea. So what if stream, but instead of normal stream, you would have to do probably a hand cam for this to work. The stream is black and white. Start commentating like a pro caster. Oh my god, the Katamari picked up the maiden, and now they're on the roll to get the stop sign, and then with the stop sign, they now have the size and the girth to absorb the statue. I didn't think that they could do it. Yeah, that is also like awful. And you get like different flavors of commentary too, with like a professional commentary. You could go like the sports commentary route, or I think multiple bits that I've done at this point are just like, we are doing the golf voice. Oh, look at that. It's a nice grab on the camera. Can we get a little bit of claps for them? I'm glad to hear it. They have a bright future with the maidens. And then you go like a certain like fighting game direction, and they're like, can we make some noise? And you make a whole bunch of noise, and you're like super hyped and stuff, and then it's like, that ball grab is 4 frames. Unfortunately, they can get their 3-frame whiff punish out before the balls are grabbed. And you have to accept it. And sometimes like you don't like the commentary, but it's like your only option. So nothing can be done about it at all. I think we're grabbing so many maidens, it's unbelievable. But anyway, stream idea. Hand cam, stream is completely black and white. You have the goofy ragtime music in the background. Like the... and then like it's a silent stream. You don't say anything, you do a whole bunch of movements with your hands, and then afterwards you just flash like a text box on screen that's like whatever's happening. I don't even know how you can make it work, but you go for the full silent stream. It does sound like potentially the most boring thing that I'd ever heard of, but I think if you came in with like a narrative in mind, I think it could work. But then, you know, you have to have a little bit of like improv in there, I guess. But like, how do you improv with silence? Maybe like hand movements. You think it could work? I think it could too. I just don't know like what the steps would be to make it work. The Charlie Chaplin stream, exactly. I think it would work very well for like a full-on normal flesh tuber. I think that would be like the ideal person to stream it, or like a 3D VTuber. I think that could work well with it. For me, like to do it, I would need to use like, I would have to figure out things that I could do with my hands. So I would actually probably want to like prepare little like hand costumes and like characters and stuff. Maybe sock puppets actually. Like a silent film sock puppet stream. Good morning, Holland. Welcome. I think that could be really good, actually. There's a lot of potential there. Oh, be still, my heart. We must hurry or the maidens will be bored. Quickly, we'll take the pretty rainbow back. I got you a lot of maidens, King. I got you so many maidens. Is that all there really is? 133 maidens? It felt like so much, but I always get like 66 or 67%. It's actually kind of heartbreaking. It's not that many and it's not that few. As far as maidens go, these are about average too. Oh. Well, get out there and risk it more. No pain, no gain. Next time we want a plethora of maidens. Alrighty, let's just release it into the sky. He's going for the harem. Virgo. Oh, I get it. I am the cosmos. I feel it. I feel the cosmos. Virgo is back. The constellation of love. So pretty. So true. Well, that went like worse than I thought it would, to be honest. I thought it was going incredibly well, but you know, maybe I'm just not cut out for the maidens. Sometimes like the feeling that you get just is not the correct feeling. I thought I was doing okay. Maybe I'm not cut out for the king of the cosmos, rather. This guy hates me. Sain Banu. Have you ever been to Mongolia? We were there yesterday. We hope you can visit. Okay. A royal present for your cousins on the space mushroom. That's what we were thinking, but then we dropped it on Earth. We got a new one, so the one on Earth is yours. Must be around somewhere, so roll it up while you're at it. No, I can try too. I think with the silent sock puppet stream too, what you would do is you could have like a... I think instead just flat out normal sock puppets where it is just like a hand in the thing and then you're just doing the thing with like the fingers on top, thumb on the bottom, you know? Like thumbing it for the mouth. I think you would have like the mouth be on like, or not the mouth, but like the face be on like the middle finger or something. And then the rest of them are just actually just like appendages. And then you do it that way. That way you can have like props that attach to Velcro that you can attach to the side of the socks and then have them interact that way. Like you have like a mafia guy with like a gun, like a Tommy gun velcroed onto the side of his head, and then he like shoots people and stuff that way. But then I wonder if you could... Oh, I know this one. I fell off the Empire State, it feels like. I don't know, like, if you could play sound effects and stuff like that live. I think that would take, like, actually a shocking amount of practice to make that performance work, which is so weird. Because I think about, like streams, right? Even event streams, any of them that I would do right now would be something that I could still just kind of wing it and have it work. But then, like, for something like that, you'd have to realize, oh, for this to be possible, I would need it all to work out perfectly, or else it would actually just probably be, like, the most boring stream of all time. And you don't want to waste that kind of potential on it. Because if you do it once, you're never revisiting, like, the silent stream. There's, you know, it's one thing to go, oh, I'll do Katamari again, or, oh, I'll do a hand cam stream again where I build part of the Epion. But doing a silent sock stream is just a little much multiple times. Unless people got invested in, like, you had some intense character arcs and stuff. But something tells me that Charlie Chaplin really was not thinking about character arcs all that much whenever he was making his silent films. Whenever he was acting, he was just being a little, like, goofy and stuff, right? Do a little bit of goofily walking around and going, like, downstairs or whatever. I don't know. I'm completely just speaking out of pure ignorance. I don't know all that much about, like, movies, and I certainly don't know that much about Charlie Chaplin movies. It's weird because I feel like that I probably should have seen them. Because growing up, I saw, like, a lot of old stuff because I didn't have cable. So whenever we were watching stuff, it was like, oh, just change the channel to something until something interesting is on. And because of that, you end up watching like a lot of like the Three Stooges or some other kind of ancient show that I hadn't like no right seeing at my age. And that's not because of like, oh, it was rated R and I was like 5. It's because it was black and white and from like the 50s. I assume that's from the 50s anyway. And then, like, you know, it would be like, oh, Saturday morning cartoons? Okay, and then you'd wake up at, like, 6 in the morning, desperately trying not to miss the very first cartoon. Because if you did, you felt like you'd miss everything. And then, like, the one show that you don't like would come on, and you'd say, brother, please wake me up. Please wake me up before the next one comes on. I just don't want to watch this one. And he says, okay, I promise you'll make it. You'll get to watch the cartoon. And it would be like Dragon Ball or something. I promise you'll get to watch Dragon Ball. And then sometime between the start of the one cartoon and the beginning of Dragon Ball, my parents would have woken up and they would say, don't wake him up, just let him sleep. He's been awake since like 6 a.m. He's growing, he needs to sleep, and then I end up missing the Dragon Ball episode. What am I gonna do? That's the experience. But then, like, I don't think that kids really have a reason to be motivated to wake up at, like, 6 in the morning anymore. I don't know if this isn't, like, a declaration that that's a bad thing, because it's probably just not. But I think it like, definitely prevented the pure nocturnal sleep schedule that I ended up on for a while. Like, it held me back. But then again, maybe it like participated in part of the downfall, because then it becomes like a thing where it's like, okay, I've been waking up at 6 a.m. my whole life to catch some Saturday morning cartoons. Now I'm too old for that. I've grown out of Saturday morning cartoons. I like play video games now. I've grown up. I'm matured. So instead, I'm going to stay up until 6 a.m. and I'll be all good. And then waking up for like those 6 a.m. shows, they would have like some weird like ancient black and white mystery show, I think, which I certainly was like bored out of my mind for. But I remember like my older brother kind of getting into it, and you get like these weird mixtures of like old stuff. It's kind of weird how like there's gonna be a whole lot of stuff that like lasted in like the pop culture conscience for like 60 years that are just gonna like go away because nobody will be forced to watch them anymore. Because I think that that's like the only reason why like people will still know like what Andy Griffith is. No kid is watching Andy Griffith by choice. They have to watch Andy Griffith because it's what's on the TV right now, because their parents wanted to watch Andy Griffith because their parents wanted to watch Andy Griffith, so they're also nostalgic about Andy Griffith. And it goes all the way down the line until this like 6-year-old is watching Andy Griffith. Like, oh, I guess we'll watch a little bit of Dick Van Dyke. But like the 7-year-old now isn't gonna go on to TikTok and watch the Dick Van Dyke Sigma edit. I feel like there's room for like actual some content there actually. Maybe somebody should consider like just black and white show like Sigma edits like you would see whenever the American Psycho memes were like the biggest things. But then they would all just be like goofy because most of it is like all slapstick and that kind of thing. Can I not pick you up yet? I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in losing everything. Save me. What was that noise? Okay, we're okay. It all worked out in the end. We're grabbing the mans. I suppose the correct term would be the men. I apologize. We're grabbing the mans. We're grabbing the mans. Give me your pompadour. Thank you, Chairman Mizuno. And then I think we should be able to get the laundry racks. And we're kind of just cleaning up so that we can go to even higher places. But we're kind of at the point, I'm going to be honest, this is going to sound freakish, but I think I know why somebody would say it's mid now. Because you get to this point in the game and it's like, okay, you have a full 20 minutes to do this mission, so you're kind of just dedicated. This is what you're doing. It's no longer the quick, like, okay, I'll get a quick Katamarian. What'll it take? 5 minutes. Okay, I can go do something else after 5 minutes. You're actually locked in for like a full League of Legends match just like through Katamari, which sounds a little unreasonable whenever you like consider that fact. Because who wants to like just be locked in spinning balls for like a whole hour? Because I think I was given like 20 minutes on this thing. It's intense. And assuming that it only increases, I'll be getting a lot of time on like some of the final rounds, unless this is just like the last one. But that would be a little unceremonious, don't you think? Hold on, can we climb? Please? Thank you. We need this truck. Oh, we're not allowed to have the truck. I would like to get the phone booth at least, and then some cows. This is how we start our farm. It's funny too, like online, the nostalgia stuff ends up like basically ruling all, right? So you have people that they find like any kind of like old nostalgic thing, and you're immediately getting sent like pictures of that stuff. So like now I just know where like, oh, I can find a payphone like 3 towns over. Why do I know that? Well, because it's like significant that there's still even a payphone there. Why is there still a payphone that you can use? And I guess it makes sense to have like a payphone for like just in case like somebody's phone dies and they have like an emergency or whatever. But then we have the added issue of like I think I know my mom's phone number, and then I don't know anybody else's phone number. Not my like family, not my friends, like nobody's significant. Even just like the people that I care about, their phone numbers are completely lost to me. It's an alien concept. And I like the only reason that I used to, or that I like actually full on know my mom's phone number is because whenever I was a kid, she was who I would call whenever I get like sick at school. And you know, do phone books still exist actually? I was about to say phone books don't exist, but they might still exist. But then how would you even know they can't exist, right? Because the phone number would be like assigned to like the address. And then now like you'd have to go, hey, phone book company, my current number is this, and then you'd be opening yourself up to like even more scam calls than you get already. Which it's just not even worth it. There's a takoyaki stand in the middle of the ocean right now. I can't believe we're trying to kill the turtles. I thought we were better than this. Littering has gone too far. What is this? A red ball? Oh, it's just a huge ball? Oh, we're kind of in the same position then. We didn't have to go for that sound? It's insane. Okay. There's got to be a way to get up there. I just don't know how. I would love to get this little house over here. I don't think that I have the same kind of momentum that I did on the last round. There's the Meg, or is that's just a really big tuna? And then also a really big ship. But I feel like, what was I gonna say? I had something in mind. Then I completely lost it as I was about to like say it, which probably means that it was just like complete garbage, but it does not feel good whenever that happens. I actually feel like I'm already like building the dementia stat up. Like I'm training that thing and it's getting leveled. It's my life skill. Playing like a Final Fantasy 14 or whatever. Sorry guys, I need to upgrade my walking. Once I upgrade my walking, then I think we'll finally be able to make some progress. Otherwise you're just gonna have to wait on this one. Oh, I'm picking up new things. Meep, meep, meep. Let me up. Thank you. We've made it. All kinds of new things to steal. And we should be able to grab so much of it at once. Why is the... Oh my god, they put buildings on a Lazy Susan. I didn't know it was possible. Oh, yes. Give me all these cars, and we're even better off. The screams. They motivate the little, they motivate the prince. They make him feel. Oh, and we need all the trees for sure. The peaceful music here just feels so out of place given the actual havoc that I'm wreaking upon the world. I guess maybe that's like an artistic choice where it's like, okay, you're the bad guy and you're destroying everything, but instead of like playing some intense like pounding like electronic or like something a little sinister, like Ball's theme and like Baldur's Gate or something. 12 meters still in diapers. Well, that's just not, it's uncalled for. You didn't have to stop me to say that. I thought the trees were legs sticking out. I guess roots kind of do just end up performing similar functions, especially like whenever you think about it, because like legs, you kind of use them to stay rooted, right? So that's what motivates you to like keep going. We should be able to grab some freakish stuff now. Obviously the palm trees, but I'm talking more houses, and this is how you snowball into owning everything. It's like immediately after the one round where I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the hardest round in the game, Blue said. Immediately after that, all of a sudden you don't even have to think about anything anymore. Just simply moving around and picking up houses is enough to like skyrocket you to everything. Although some of these houses are kind of small. Let me get those people. I think they could become a confident or a competent part of the mass. Oh yeah, it's just done. I'm big enough now to pick up all the houses. Not the skyscrapers, but you can worry about those a little bit later. I'm shocked that these oh, we got the drawbridge. I'm just stuck. Oh, please. Let me get out. Anything, please. I don't know if I can. Okay, we made it. Sorry, I was scratching my nose, so I ended up falling over anyway. I honestly thought that that was it for me. Like, I would actually be there, and this would become a just chatting stream for the next 7 minutes. Which there wouldn't be a problem with that. It's just that, like, I don't know, like, what I would do. Like, at least there's, like, music there, so, you know, it wouldn't be, like, completely boring silence or anything. Which, that was weird, too. Whenever I was setting up the, because whenever I was setting up the hand cam stream, I didn't think about music as, like, a possibility until like 2 minutes before the stream, which ended up making the stream like complete silence. I was worried that it would be like just uncomfortable because of it, but thankfully it sounded like people were cool with like the more chill vibe. City sized, yeah. So Blue, immediately after the round that you said was like, oh, I'm pretty sure this was like the hardest round in the game. Immediately after that, I end up just clearing everything. After that round, that is. Like, I go into the next round, and it goes from, like, oh, I'm struggling to get to 5 meters to, I was the size that the game needed me to be, within, like, minutes, and then I just couldn't be stopped anymore. And now I'm, like, the size of of multiple trees, and I swear that I can probably pick up that boat soon. And I'll be done with this by minute 4, if I had to guess. The only threat to me are those are the windmills. They're treating me like birds, hitting me straight out of the sky. I thought I'd be able to grab that too, to be honest, but we're just not there yet, and that's okay. I was hoping that maybe we could grab the signs. We can. The Ryokan sign is ours too now. We need to grab this home for sure. I'm telling you, it's balanced so weird. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize how weird it could get, but it gets so weird. And there's just more city than I actually knew, to be honest. I've never seen this part of the map. This has been locked away from me. Like, I'm big to the point where I'm having to explore new zones. I don't know if that's like the point of these zones. They must be, because they're like less detailed. There's one more hard level, if you recall correctly, but luckily it's actually last, so it's not anticlimactic. That makes sense. I wonder, aggressive yet good-natured. But we'd love to have a much bigger, nicer Katamari. We'll leave you to your work. Then I just don't know if it's good-natured, King of the Cosmos. I'm like killing thousands, watching a superhero movie, and they're like, I will save everyone, and then they go flying through 27 skyscrapers. Everybody is falling apart. There, thousands of families have lost like everybody in them. They've all been slaughtered. I wonder if they go for like a like Katamari boss fight. Like, how does that even work? How does a last level live up to the hype in a Katamari game? Do you just get to grab like as much as possible? Because I don't even know if like it being like difficult should be like what I would want from it. I think maybe something that's just quick and then lets me absorb everything on the planet. Like, for example, like if they just gave me like a Jupiter-sized Katamari and then let me like grab the entirety. Oh my god! They do have superheroes in this world. Unfortunately, he's not killing like everybody. I'm the one killing everybody. We're so boat right now. We're so boat. We can get the can we get the satellite? Did I miss that opportunity? I would love to get the satellite. We did. The Hinageshi satellite is ours. We should now be able to give the good people internet in a giant squid. I've got sticks on this thing. Oh no, I flung my squid. It's inking in the wrong spot. We need to ink straight over here. We need the ink to stay with our ball and not away from our ball. Okay? We want it to be ours like that. The apartment building and the car ad. Just let me touch the trees. As long as I can touch the buildings, I can pick them up. Unfortunately, we're to the size where maneuvering is difficult. This is like whenever you get into like the completely... Oh my god. Hold on. They're transporting. They're transporting. We'll go ahead and keep taking the... Oh, Godzilla is gonna take us out. We can't. We're not big enough for that yet. I understand. I didn't think that it would get any crazier than this. I need to sneeze. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to mute for that because, you know, it's just kind of gross. But I was like excited about being able to grab some of this stuff. Oh, nice catch, Katamari. I don't think I can make it up there. It's just sad. I wasted too much time, and we're about to end up at 1 minute. And I need to keep growing so that I can maybe grab Godzilla. Hold on. Plane is ours. Straight out of the sky. It's no worries. We get the sailboats, too. A very manly sneeze. Good job. What do you mean? What makes a sneeze manly? Thanks, I think. Oh, bro, there's so much testosterone in your sneeze. Whenever I heard it, I just felt my muscles flare up a little bit, if you know what I mean. Thanks. You have 1 minute left? No, King. I'm trying to, like, double my size here. I want to get 60 so bad. I would love to get 60. Let me pick up the entire circus because I am the clown. I own it. Oh, I just don't have the time to get it either, I think. We love saying things without knowing what we're actually saying. So true. That's what the stream of consciousness is all about. That's how you make good content. You go into somebody's chat and say, yeah, he's been edging for 4 years. Oh, that sneeze, it made me feel things in ways that I haven't felt before. That's probably somebody's thing too. Like, cause you know, you talk about like the hyper specific like interests. Like I want to call them fetishes. What's the word that I'm looking for? Because it's not quite like a fetish thing. It's just like a it's like a specific, like, oh, that looks kind of good whenever there's like that specific thing. Somebody's probably looking out for like sneezes and they hear like a and it's the greatest thing that they've ever heard and they're like, that's the one for me. I'm going with the disgusting snot sneeze guy. We have plans to get together with your cousin, so we'll go back to Square now. Square? What did I say? Is it Square? Did he say Square? 55 meters, 38 centimeters, 2 millimeters, 3 exclamation marks. I've impressed him 2 times in a row. He really does love me now. We are moved to tears by the size of this thing. This is so incredible. Thank you. Nobody's ever said that to me before. Happy, so happy. We want to turn it into a star right now. The thing that you collected the most of is plants, houses, and aquarium. I didn't notice that I picked up so many aquariums. My Earth really is full of things. We will now release it into the sky. One of the weirdest things about aquariums, and it's just this this dichotomy between the aquariums and zoos, is I think that aquariums sometimes called off. Isn't that Dad running this way? Dad? Uh-oh. There's no launch today. Oh no, after we came all this way to see your launch? The moon's disappeared. It's just gone. Who took it? It wasn't me. As the king of the cosmos did just like destroy it and blow it up. But aquariums don't know there's space. And I feel like it was just like an attempt to be like, okay, our aquarium's really struggling. We got like the tube that you can walk through and see all the sharks, and it was a big enough draw for a while, but then people saw enough shark and they kind of lost it. What do? Let's put like a bird canopy in here. It's like, well, don't you think that we're kind of stepping on the toes of the zoo? It was like, yeah, we're just stepping on... We've only got a couple of levels left. I think we beat the game today. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's not like aquatic life or anything, but I think people will maybe appreciate it if we can have a little bit of birds. And it's like, okay, have some birds. I mean, like, penguins kind of fit the aquarium vibe just fine. And then you end up walking through and you get some exhibit with, like, these jungle birds. And then, like, they're like, oh, we also have this little jaguar down here. It's like, what are you doing, man? I go to the zoo to see the jaguar. I'm here to look at, like, some fish. And you end up with like this mixed vibe where now instead of seeing like the beautiful blue color all around you and looking at the sharks and then hearing like the whale noises where you can walk into a room and then they'll play some sounds and go woo while they play like Bon Jovi in the background. That's completely ripped away from you because now you need to go into like the bird canopy to get there first because they didn't know what they were going to do to make people more interested in fish. Maybe you could sponsor some educational programs to get people more interested in marine biology, but at this point you're kind of just funneling people towards the zoo side of things, and now they want to just like look at like big cats like everybody else, and this guy's like interested in aardvarks because you had the gall to overstep. For some reason, I don't feel comfortable at all. Is it because our royal present is missing? No, that's not it. Oh, that's it. We get it. There is no center. There is no belly button. There is nothing solid in the center of the sky. That's why it's unstable, off-kilter, undignified, and preposterous. Oh, we remember now. It's the North Star. Well, that one was kind of like super underwhelming with how he reacted. Who knows why, but make it exactly 10 meters. The closer it is to 10 meters, the brighter the North Star will be. But there's a catch, or maybe two. How big the Katamari is to start with, nobody knows. But we will show you what 10 meters looks like. 10 meters, okay. Very, very simple. When you think your Katamari is 10 meters, summon us with the X button. Much is expected of you, Prince of Diffidence. What does diffidence mean? I don't think I've ever heard the word before in my life. How does this work? How am I supposed to, like, does it light up for me? How do I eyeball something like this? Oh, it does not light up for me. This is going to be a real struggle. 10 meters is... I think that's about enough to start picking up buildings. So I think once we start picking up buildings, like our first building, I think that's whenever we hit X. We have unlimited time, so it's not even a worry for us. It'll be an unstoppable thing. You know what's been surprising for me? This is gonna be a complete topic switch. Is out of the streams that I've been performing lately, because I have a problem. I do look at my graphs very often. My Mahjong Soul stream is getting like crazy views, and I don't know why. Because I think of like, oh, what's going to perform well, and most of the time, like, I accept, like, right now I'm kind of playing like a whole lot of games that just by nature of what they are should not be getting watched. But then I go and look at the thing and it's like, oh, Mahjong Soul currently at 65 views. Balatro, and I accepted the Balatro, one of our royal presents. Oh, I forgot that those exist. You found it? Yes, you did. Be sure to keep it in the Katamari till the end. Mahjong is pretty hype. It is, but like, and I think it legitimately is increasing in popularity, but I don't think it's increasing like that, you know? Like, more people know about Mahjong for sure, just by nature of like what it's included in and how popular those properties are getting. But I don't think they know what it is like that, you know, where they're going to see the Mahjong Soul stream VOD and then be like, oh, I could really use some Mahjong content right now. Let me watch this this novice player. I think I was still novice on that stream, play against some of his friends online. That I have no idea about. That's fair. I don't know what it is, but like, you know, obviously Yakuza, but even in Yakuza, I still followed the Yakuza like subreddit, and I do use Reddit, still, for whatever reason. It's just like the most fun thing to browse while at work. Twitter's a little too dangerous to browse while at work, so I just don't. So Reddit tends to be my go-to while at work. And I look at like the Yakuza subreddit sometimes, and most of the posts about Mahjong are that picture of Kiryu crying while putting down his like his sumo tile, which is that's just all people need to see, is like, I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. Hold on, let me out. Oh, I actually don't know how to get out. Can I get out? Oh, I'm losing everything. I didn't know that this could happen like this. Oh, I don't know what to do. Can I, like, build some speed? I'm trying to, like, do the growth thing, but it's not working. Or not the growth thing, but, like, the, get out of the corner thing. Or the charge thing. Oh, please. The old men are slowly being replaced. Oh, we're out. Oh, that was so much time. Mahjong is so niche. I guess you can just see all the Mahjong content by being into it. Everyone sees our Mahjong stuff, perhaps? This is a wild predicament. It was kind of very wild. I think I lost a ton of weight, which, you know, not really what I was going for, but we got out, so it's okay. Now we pick up the palm trees. We're definitely not even close to 10 meters yet, I don't think. We need to be able to pick up, like, the trees for sure. And we still can't pick up that building. So we are still not there. I think maybe because you would just restart it, that would have made so much sense. But I'm not a quitter, okay? Honestly, I wish that I did just like restart it. That would have taken so much less time. We go over, and then we absorb the people into the mass. This is honestly probably pretty close. I think I just stay in this area and then keep picking stuff up until I can pick up a building. We just lost so much weight. I'm shedding. It's never too late. Well, I mean, I suppose not, but wouldn't it be kind of self-defeating at this point? Just a little bit, maybe? I don't know if that's the way that we want to do things. Now get stuck in a thing again. I remember, and I think this would have been like the first Minecraft server with friends that I played on. So like my first like PC experience, my PC gaming experience was not like on a desktop. It was a $200 office laptop that I had like saved for with a bunch of like Christmas and birthday money over like a long period of time. And I remember finally being able to play like Minecraft. That thing was hardly running on my little laptop, and then my friend Cyan, as I knew him back then too, had set up a Minecraft server, and I'm sitting there like building my little house and stuff. I think we're probably pretty close. While playing this game, all I could think about was how hard it must have been to program and playtest this thing. I guess the size grows, the inside bits phase out of existence. Yeah, I have no idea how this game functions. And what's crazy is that they did like how much they did think about, because whenever you finally do get to like a big enough size, you see how like actually fleshed out the map is, because of like how packed some of the areas are. And then you get to the outside and it's like, oh, Godzilla's here, I guess. Sure, why not? Do you think that we're 10 meters? How small you were? Exactly. Maybe they were going for the philosophical vibe where you're like, oh, the world really is such a big place, isn't it? Don't you think the beauty of the world is worth absorbing, as there still is so much that we have yet to see and yet to discover? Maybe we should go under the ocean. There's 70% of it is yet to be explored. We could go to space and then see the world from outside of itself. Maybe there's still unknown creatures from within our Earth itself. We need to respect the life that is here and enjoy what we have. Don't you think? Don't you think? Agree? Black sheep. This has to be. I think. Okay, we got it. Stop rolling. I stopped. Oh, X is... I'm playing on a PlayStation controller, so I was just hitting like the X on the PlayStation button. We're not certain. We're not at all sure. Oh, that's not a good sign at all. This thing's gonna be like 15 meters, 11 meters. We doubt the evidence of our eyes. Does this look like 10 meters? Not to us, it doesn't. It's not even close, is it? You need more practice, yes? Don't stare at it, see with your mind's eye. It can't be anything but a flunky North Star. Use your mind next time. Here, this is our royal present. Guess what? Guess what this is? Alrighty, let's just release it into the sky. Man, I was completely off. I honestly wasn't that bad. I know like a meter sounds like a lot, but like you know, I only picked up one house. I thought about stopping way earlier, but I figured it would be like the Mahjong thing where I like end up avoiding going with my gut initially, and then because I avoid going with my gut, I end up like messing everything up, and now all of a sudden I'm in Furry 10 and there's no recovery for me. I'm gonna start speaking about life through Mahjong references. where it's like something goes horribly wrong and it's like, oh, I'm really struggling right now. Life is really in a furry 10 moment. The only way that I could get out of the situation is if I were to get a sumo. However, my hand is in tenpai, which does mean that there is a chance. Or you end up in a spot where it's like, unfortunately, my life simply has no Yaku right now. There's nothing that can be done, and I'm completely out of hope. I'm going to assume that this is the last level. So I think we go ahead and start. Which is like perfect because the stream is going to be like 2 hours long. Oh, it's the ideal. Saluton! Do you know Esperanto? I do not. Maybe we'll invent a cosmic Esperanto. Oh yes, almost forgot. Oh yes, a royal present for the hardworking king. But we felt bashful about handing it to you, so we left it on Earth for you to pick up. You can roll it up while you're making the moon. You didn't want to give me like the actual like pre-moon speech? Are you late? There's multiple ways that I could answer that question. And you know, I mean, technically, I mean, I did start like a couple of hours ago, but I'm going to ask the question, did you like just get back? Did you stream? Because I started at like 7 and you were still not back yet because they were like cleaning stuff up or whatever. So I actually have no idea whether you streamed or not. Congratulations on setting or getting free. Could not stream. Oh, I guess that just makes sense. I'm sorry to hear that, but being drafted for Counter-Strikes, I can't see you finish, but good luck. Okay, thank you, Blue. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad that you were eventually able to get free. Oh, we get the actual theme. This is the last level for sure. Honestly, Jury, I'd say that you got here just in time because this is the final level. Blue said that this is a harder level. We ended up beating the difficult level from last week within two tries this week. So there was not a whole ton of struggling, but I would say that you got here like right on time. It's crazy. I've only been through like the car dealership experience once, and it was a used car dealership because, you know, college student and all that. But I ended up getting like a super good deal because, and like an actual good deal, not like a bad good deal, because I was a college student and completely not knowledgeable at all about how like the haggling experience and whatnot would work. But I got like a pretty good car for like 10K, I think, because there was like a little bit of damage, it's not even noticeable damage, but there was like a little bit of a smudge on the bumper. But through that, it was like, okay, yeah, they really do. They come in, they ask you some stuff, they say, okay, I'll go get this paperwork, and they let you sit there for like 25 minutes, then they'll finally be back with some paperwork, and then you have to like go figure something else out, and they're like, okay, I'll be back with some paperwork. And then they leave you through that entire process like 27 times. And it's like they actually do go for the full interrogation tactics. Like, I don't know if you've watched like any of those true crime videos, like the JCS videos, where it's like, and now the interrogator will put pressure onto the suspect to try to get them to confess this or that. They do that, and they try to sit you down in this uncomfortable chair, so you're like, oh, please just let me out so I can like go home. I don't want to sit in this chair anymore. Fine, I'll pay $60,000 for the 2018 car that doesn't have a back bumper. RE1 streams are cursed, can't stream because IRL stuff happens. If anything were to be cursed, I guess it does just make the most sense for the like horror game stream to be cursed, the zombie horror game in the creepy mansion. So at least it feels a little bit accurate, where it would be like, okay, unfortunately Gunpla streams can't happen because well, I mean, the only acceptable like answer for that would be like, oh, aliens have landed down, so then that's the thematically correct answer to that stream. How does haggling work? Well, it's basically what it sounds like. They're like, okay, we can sell you this car for this, and then you go, that's not gonna work, I'll do this, and they try to get you with like all of these kinds of like deals and that kind of thing. And it's been a long time, and I did have like my parents with me, or else I would have actually been screwed. But they try to like layer this other stuff on and then get you with we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you, and you kind of have to like hold the line and just defend your interests, and you're actually going for like the full like lawyer experience. I heard no more Gunpla and legit felt your heart stop for a second. I'm sorry, Gunja, I didn't mean to like hit your heart like that. I know that the age might be getting to you a little bit, so the last thing I would want to do is put you into cardiac arrest. But thankfully, with modern technology, you would probably make it out just fine, to be honest, and then you would live until 95. It's beyond your skill set. I'm sorry to hear, Cyan. I know that you went through the motorcycle purchasing process. Is that similar to like buying a car? Didn't you also buy a car? I can't remember. How did it compare, getting a motorcycle compared to getting a car? Because I feel like it would be a little different because the motorcycle is on the cheaper end, and I feel like motorcycles are almost more of like an enthusiast product, if that makes sense. Because like over here, they are just going to be like much less common than cars. For one, because you have a little bit of the extra danger involved. And I feel like they have like a specific kind of character built into them almost. So you have to consider like all those factors. But bought the motorcycle, your parents bought the car. Oh, so you had to haggle for the motorcycle then, right? Do you feel that you did well? Do you think that you haggled well? Because I haven't had the solo experience yet, and I'm sure that I will, like, not soon, but like my car is at the point where it's like basically paid off. And so once I get that paid off, and especially if I end up moving up north like I want to, I'm probably going to end up selling that thing so that I can get a car with like all-wheel drive, because I know that that's supposed to help a lot in the snow. I think Juju's just scared of Ree trying to get out of playing so we don't hear her screaming, but that's the content. Surely she wouldn't sacrifice the content. She's got it in mind. She knows with the heart rate monitor, the luxury Ree experience. You can sit in a car with heated seats and play on the screen that the car surely has for that kind of money. Oh, why are they all running from a, like, what even is that called? I don't even know. Does it have, because like newer cars I kind of associate for like luxury stuff having the giant, like basically TV screen in the front instead of like any of the buttons and stuff, which means that you have like a lot of potential for some like weird stuff. Hold on, let's go up, because I know people have started like playing Doom and stuff in their cars and running that there. You can do anything. You can Doom anything. Can I get over this wall easier than I can get over the other wall? Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I didn't know that this was here. I actually had no idea. I've been locking myself off from this area for so long for no reason. And also, the final level is just like half an hour. Did you get any mahjong time in while waiting at the dealership? Did you actually like sit there and like mostly just have to chill for the entire time? Because I feel like my trip to the dealership did take time. And I think any trip to the dealership will take time, but I think that the time that you were there for was definitely just intense. Also, did break the news to Ginja, and he said that I played it too well. Yeah, I played the Coke Zero bit too well, to the point that is actually just going to end up being my character, and everything else that I do will end up being irrelevant, which is kind of like incredible, but also I'm slightly disappointed in myself for setting myself up for that. I think I should have been a little bit more aware of how it would turn out. My screen is kind of flashing, I think because of the height of everything that I'm at. We're grabbing the entire farm. Oh, the giraffe. The zoo experience has been stepped on once again. How dare you, aquariums? I just wish that they would treat the zoos with a little bit more respect. I was watching a video, and in the video they were talking about like the death of movie theaters, And they were talking about how like the zoos are kind of dying too. But I kind of bet, which if this happens, I think the aquariums end up actually beating the zoos, which feels insane to say, because I think most people end up going to a zoo over an aquarium like a vast majority of the time. But like once you get the zoos gone, the aquariums have so much more space and like leniency to kind of just take the spot in the entertainment sector that the zoos couldn't fill. Because then you can kind of absorb some of the animals and stuff, where it's like, this is kind of like I wouldn't blame you for putting this in an aquarium because it has like the aquatic vibe. But also I can put like more like actual zoo creatures in here to like mingle with the aquarium creatures, maybe as like some kind of exhibit. So like you have like a polar bear in there next to the fish that are eaten by the polar bear out in the Arctic. So then because you know you're not going to have like, because you have animal reservations now, which will probably be the main like animal observance kind of thing that will take over, right? And they aren't going to have like every animal like a zoo does, where it is just like, okay, I take 2 steps, I watch the aardvarks, I take a few more steps, all of a sudden I'm looking at some cheetahs. More steps, we got elephants right now. Elephants are all over the place. And you can't really like have that at a reservation, I think, so you have to be a little bit more careful. So then because of that, aquariums still have that like everything's locked away kind of vibe that zoos are having a harder time justifying. So then they end up picking up the animals that the zoos can't have and then saying, oh, aquariums are only for fish. That's a viewpoint of the past. New aquariums are built on the true animal experience, because obviously like you aren't going to, unless you're like scubaing, and who wants to scuba? Well, a lot of people, but you have to like go to like a nicer spot to scuba. The aquarium will bring that to you. Or maybe you end up with like aquatic reservations. So instead of that, they find like a lake area. They can like artificially set the temperature and like the environment of the water. That way they can have like as many little different fish guys in the water as you want, and then you have to scuba to see them. However, I think that honestly would end up I don't think that could be like the shark tube. I think people would be too scared of it to actually follow through, because then they would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get eaten by a shark and a killer whale at the same time. I just don't know if I'm built for this, and they have to accept that. Yeah, you did have to chill? Oh, I'm sorry. Because then that actually just means that it is just complete and utter boredom, unless you had some like crazy conversation for like actually 6 hours. I don't know how long you were there, but you must have been there for like actually like 6 hours or something. It was an insane little saga that you had going on in the Discord. I won 2 Valorant games in the time, and that's basically 2 days worth of play. You told them online? I did tell them. There was just no way that I was going for the complete like Coke character the whole entire time. But unfortunately, like obviously, like not everybody in your chat is going to like see that moment, which does just mean for like half the people that are in the Discord or whatever, most of the people are still just gonna know me as the Coke Zero guy. Online, you can be anything, and you chose to be the diabetic choke. The choke chugger, the Coke chugger. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like an active choice. I just, I thought it would be a little funny. And then somebody had to fill the role of the Coke Zero guy for like my IRL friends, so I could become that guy a little bit. It was crazy learning that like it worked well enough to the point that everybody everybody believed the act that I had given them. So there was like no spot in like anywhere. Online friends, in real life friends. I assume if I got like my parents to watch the stream, they would look at me with complete and utter disgust too. Because of the sheer amount of stuff too. Because I remember my parents already just don't like Coke Zero. They think that the taste is bad. So they couldn't get into it. Because I remember talking to my mom about the Coke Zero. I was like, this stuff is like wonderful. It's kind of like magic. But you know, somebody had to fill the role. I also have an idea for a stream jury. And I think that there is there's a possibility for a silent stream, and by that I mean go for the full black and white stream where you play the ragtag music on like the piano. It's like slightly out of tune, you're building the vibe, it's the most whimsical thing that you've ever heard, and then do like sock puppets, and then instead of like having any sound, you just put a text box on screen as stuff happens. And that's the way to go, I think. We are absorbing the entire city. You should do a stream where you drink 30 Cokes. That would be awful. I'm going to be honest, like most of the time whenever I'm on stream, I drink 1 Coke Zero from top to bottom. And usually I don't even do that. So like I opened a Coke Zero for today's stream. I'm about halfway through the Coke Zero and we're 2 hours in. So for me to complete the thing at any point in the stream, I would simply have to chug it. And I think 30 Cokes is where like I end up at like the point where I lose it. And I know that that sounds, you know, it's a little over dramatic after like some of the things that some people do drink. Because like, you know, I'm not going for like the full LA beast or anything, where it's like, oh my god, I ate an entire handful of bees and they were all buzzing in my mouth and I was getting stung on the inside, and also I ate this 100-year-old piece of moldy cheese, and then you come out completely fine. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, it would kill me to drink all that Coke, but it just wouldn't feel good. And I don't know if I'm ready to feel that kind of just complete and utter despair yet, for no reason. I thought the 300 meters would be impossible, but it's been like exponentially growing in a way that I didn't know. We've got like so many tsunami islands. What's a tsunami island? I assume that that's a real thing just based on how it's being mentioned there. For a Gunpla stream, it was terrifying. Terrifying. Sock puppets is a funny idea. I think so too. I was kind of running it by Ginja. Ginja participated in what was the suggestion that Ginja gave? But he called it a Charlie Chaplin stream, which I think works so well. I think for that stream to work, you either need the hand cam sock puppets, you need to be a flesh tuber, or you could do like a 3D like model kind of thing, and then I think that would be the way to do a silent stream. But I feel like that would require like practice in a way that no stream that I have done will like require practice. Because I think for that to work, you need to have like a narrative in mind and then kind of work through that for like probably like half an hour would be the stream, like half an hour to an hour long stream. Because I can't imagine it being that good for like that long, right? It would kind of like overstay its welcome if it went on for too long. Oh, the baseball is not safe. Because I can't imagine going for like a full 2 hours of like no, don't shoot me, and showing like the sock puppet's mouths moving. I will kill you for what you have done to my family. No, don't. And then you like see them gunning down the other sock puppet. It's like actually like a mafia plot. where you have like all these families and stuff, but then like it would be difficult because you'd be limited to 2 characters on screen at once unless you're willing to get the feet involved. And even then, can you imagine the pose that you're having to hit off camera to do that? That would just be too humiliating to even do. Like, I've got my hands up on the camera stage, and then, like, my feet are over it, and I'm, like, my hands are spreading through my legs. I look like a 4-legged octopus. I just don't know if I could do it. Like, my pride would get in the way of involving the feet. So then, you're limited to only 2 characters on screen at a time. Unless you had like an army of people willing to offer their hands. Speech to text? Oh, that's a good idea. And then even better with that is speech to text. It will... Oh, the rainbow is solid. With the speech to text, the speech to text might mishear you. So then if it does mishear you, then there's your improv opportunity. Where it's like, oh, I'm going to kill you, becomes I'm going to dill you, and then all of a sudden you're running to the kitchen to quickly grab a pickle jar to shove your sock into. And now your foot is completely pickled because you did go with the hand and feet idea mixture, and that thing is completely, like, rotted away by the end of it, and you have, like, trench foot. Different socks for different characters, easy enough to change. Definitely. Like, you'd have to, like, prepare all of it, and that's what I was saying too, is that you would have to have, like, the props and stuff pre-prepared. That way they'd be Velcro ready to stick onto your sock. But once you got all that set up, it would be good. Okay. Honestly, I think we kind of just... Blue was saying that this level would end up being hard, but I think I've ended up clearing it. Like Katamari, I've ended up kind of getting good at. Because I've gone from, like, struggling with literally everything to, like, the king going, oh, you're such a disappointment, you tepid little creature. You're lukewarm like the water in the bottom of my bathtub after I sit in it for 6 hours. You're the backwash at the bottom of my cup. You're the backwash left over at the end of the Gunpla Coke Zero stream from all those plastic pieces that you ate, leaving the debris behind to mildew at the bottom of your glass. It's like, okay. But now he's like, oh, 300 meters, I love you so much. You're the greatest person I've ever known. And I'm like, thank you, I know, I am the greatest. Something's coming, an island? I didn't know that they could move like that. Oh, 300 meters? This moon's about to be the size of Titan. What a nice Katamari, so pleasant and dreamy, but we would love to have a much bigger, much more spectacular Katamari. We'll leave you to your work then. The Earth is about to become the moon's moon, and then the moon will end up becoming the only livable planet as we knock the planet Earth out of the livable zone of the sun's orbit, and the Earth begins to orbit the moon instead, as the moon takes its proper spot in the livable zone, killing all of humanity and opening up the possibility for the primordial soup to create a new species that can inhabit the lower gravity spot on the moon. Maybe this is the Moon Bunny's plot, actually. Hold on, we grab rain. I thought that some of this stuff out here just would not be allowed. Oh, it totally isn't. That's probably why it ends up super cloudy. The Oni Rock. Don't mind if I do? How am I... Wait, what happened? Why am I 500 meters? Can we get a... Oh, yes, we can. We can get a rainbow. I think we've left behind, like, all of humanity. Can I go back and, like, pick up some of the previous cities, or did we already do that? Oh, hello. Who did I just pick up? Was that a god? I would like to get the hurricane as well. I just feel like that fits my vibe pretty well. Completely sucking everything up and then leaving nothing behind. It's like drinking a delicious Coke Zero trademark. Am I right? I think that there's like so many possibilities with hand cam streams that just haven't been done yet, because people don't want to go the sock puppet route. That's a tornado apparently, not a hurricane. My bad. I misunderstood. We have doubled the size already. I think we might actually end up basically eating everything by the end of the game. The airplane, where are you traveling to, man? There's simply nothing left for you here. You have to go elsewhere. I'm worried that I might fall off the edge of the earth. Now there's no way for me to know whether I've actually like got enough weight on this guy to have actually flattened out the earth and then prove flat earthers correct. However, it was round at one point. It's just that they won't be willing to acknowledge it. The extreme weight of the Katamari that I have and the gravitational pull that it does have is pulling the edges of the earth into itself, so it's looking more like a tortilla bowl. We're kind of like going straight for the Chipotle kind of build. Let's grab the mushrooms. Honestly, the mushrooms feel kind of like a cop-out for items, right? Because we've had like the Godzillas, we've had the superheroes like the Ultramans, we've had the Megazords, but then they're like, oh, I can't think of anything better. Let's put like one god in the sky, and also let's just make these mushrooms like really big. Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with a really big mushroom? Well, I would rather not, but I guess if you can't think of anything else, then go right ahead. I just expected more from you after the creativity that you've expressed in other levels. Flat Earth Ears pulling up a Joe Bob Katamari stream as evidence in their next... Flat Earth Ears is so funny. Flat Earthers pulling up a Joe Bob Katamari stream as evidence in their next documentary. It would be incredible. I would almost be honored. Do you remember that there was that one video where a whole bunch of like geologists or whatever got tricked into being in a flat Earth documentary? It would be like that. Oh, Marine Jumbo Man. I'm unstoppable. Marine Jumbo Man, he was interested by the aquarium. Unfortunately, the aquariums are driving more and more children to zoos, so now we have to look at the fauna Jumbo Man instead. But not the streamer, by the way. Oh, it takes so much power to spin this thing. And like the Cosmos, the king of the Cosmos, has the gall to tell me that I do poorly. I'm doing like excellently, dare I say swimmingly, now that I'm in the ocean. He's got the scuba on. He's observing the sharks down at the bottom, and he can't be beat. Honestly, the clouds might just be because of how high up I am. But I honestly don't know. Let's go to the right. Cuttlefish Island, that's cute. Oh, it totally is just because of how high up I am. 825 meters? Eha! Egots! It's floating, but it's not a dream. 825 meters, 93 centimeters, 1 millimeter, only one exclamation point. Maybe he doesn't love me as much as I thought that he would. How supple this silhouette. How this substantial heft. This mellifluous mood and the rising tide of familial love. We are moved. Oh, he does love me. Ah! I can't believe it. When it gets this big, it's hard to tell what you have the most of. Nature, plants, industry. Plants aren't in the nature category. This is what makes up Earth. This is what makes humanity beautiful. We live in coexistence with the nature and the industry of the planet that we have helped form. My Earth really does have a lot of things. We will now release the moon into the sky. However, we have to be careful not to let that industry go too far. The moon, 825 meters, 93 centimeters, and 1 millimeter. Oh my god. We are exhausted. The sky is done. The sky is complete. We are tired. Rolling a Katamari is very hard. You didn't do anything. Right, Prince? Wasn't it hard, wasn't it? Well, it was hard for us as well. To watch it from the cosmos was very hard. So boring. Half asleep we were. That's Jury at the car dealership. We can finally go home. Finally sleep in bed. Today will be a party day, especially since the prince is finally 2 centimeters taller. We must celebrate. Mother, we need cake. Yes! We do need cake. We'll have our cake and eat it too. Prince of Oji. King of Osama. Queen of Ohi. I forget that honestly, part of me would always expect the queen to just end up being like super muscular too. But maybe that is just like the king's thing. seeing as how the queen looked completely normal. I put my controller like way behind me, so I assume that I'm not going to be touching it for a minute. We're watching the movie of a complete celebration. It brings you joy. It's like the end of a coming-of-age story where they hit you with the most obvious line of all time. Everything's going to be okay. The world may not be perfect, but through that recognition, we can achieve our own personal growth. I'm starting to get the goosebumps and tears are entering my eyes. The moon has been created. Planet Earth has been as it always will be. However, most of humanity has been eliminated. Cake, you say? I'm in. Real? Actually true. Total objects collected, 1,185 categories. Diameter, 825 meters, 93 centimeters, and oh my god. Thomas the Tank Engine head Katamari was not something that I was ready to see. It's kind of actually haunting. The multiplayer in this game might actually be insane. I'm not sure. This game was kind of like, this is so much fun. Oh yes, playable credits. I can like absorb the planet. What am I picking up? I actually don't know. Did I just pick up, oh, I can only pick up the little islands right now, maybe? And then I can make it to bigger land masses such as Australia and Japan. Playable credits, yes, yes. My favorite, or some of my favorites anyway, is like, I know for like, oh, it has the, I picked up North Korea, then Taiwan, then Vanuatu, Fiji, Tonga, Solomon Islands, Samoa, Tuvalu, Kiribati. Oh my god, I can't look at it. I know like Super Smash Brothers Brawl had one. You could shoot all the titles, or not the titles, the little characters and trophies out of the sky. Super Monkey Ball 2 had a really good one where you'd shoot the names and like collect bananas and stuff as they came down. It was incredible. There's probably someone out there where their introduction to geography, they were like, oh, you start right by Japan? I will pick up North Korea, then Korea. And they beat the game enough times to like actually know where everything is located. Moon, welcome, welcome. Joe Bob is my name. I can't believe that you were able to figure it out. I've been hiding it secret for so long. My knowledge has been untouchable. That's like forbidden knowledge, and I think I need to ban you for even uttering that here. Nobody else here knows it. Anyway, what can I do for you? I'm just kind of like, what's weird? Okay, streaming. Playing loading screens were fun too, like the old Dragon Ball Budokai games. I agree. I played the Budokai, I played one Budokai game. And it was because I borrowed the game for my Wii. I don't remember what the loading screens were like. But I had like the Dragon Ball Raging Blast games growing up, and there was like a little mini game on Raging Blast 2 where you would actually just hit the buttons as quickly as you can in combination. And I remember Googling to see if I could beat that mini game, and obviously you couldn't because it was just a loading screen mini game, and actually being kind of upset that like I couldn't hit the buttons any quicker than that, I suppose. Whereas like, where's my reward for hitting all these buttons? And I just never received it. We're picking up the Earth? You won't, coward? Oh, I would if I didn't have to alt-tab out of this game to make it happen. There are mods here though, so like, if anybody's willing. But it's not worth it to put you down. You underwhelming noodle eater. The Bulldog. The message of, oh, you're weak, destroyed me. It hurt me. I think I do have every country now. Did I miss? The United States is not in the list. I can't look at it. Most of the country names I don't even know, which feels kind of bad. Because then that means I have to like go study a globe just to feel like competent. Oh, I missed Albania. My bad. I missed Ecuador as well. Apparently there's a ton of just little ones that I had somehow not touched at all. The Marshall Islands, the Seychelles flag looked kind of cool. We got rolled into the Katamari and now we're on a lunar family vacation. The stars sure are pretty. Kind of creepy. Those kids scare me. Nobody listened to them. They should have listened. Either way, that's Katamari. Exciting. I didn't think that I would be beating it today. I assumed there's a little bit more. I might rush out and buy Katamari 2, the second remake of the second Katamari game. I can't remember what that one's called. They aren't like numbered like that. Like, oh, I'm playing Katamari 4. Nobody would play a game called Katamari 4. Kata 40, Kata 30, Kata 2D. You name it like Banjo Tooie, that kind of thing. But I might rush out and buy that. These streams are some of the most fun that I've had. I think it's like the perfect amount of something to do with my hands, while also being able to talk about nothing throughout the entire 2 to 3 hours that these streams go on for. And also like the vibe and the music and everything is incredible. I really love Katamari. Before this, it had just been the demo disc experience. So this has been an incredible development for me as I get to see the true Katamari. But I'll have to see whether it be something that I continue soon. Also, next week is the half-year anniversary of whenever not this channel. This channel is very old. I think this channel was made in like over a decade ago. I think I made this channel. I think it was made in like 2013. So you know, not the channel, but since I started streaming my very first Resident Evil 2 stream, next Friday is the half-year anniversary. And with that, I am currently, because life is honestly kind of getting stressful for me right now, so I might have to take like a week off and kind of let things chill out for a little bit after that, but I'll let you know more whenever I get to that point. But otherwise, stuff is happening like in my real life, and some of that just needs to get taken care of first. And so, you know, that'll be the priority there for like a week or whatever. Otherwise, I will be back on what is today? Today's Friday. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm considering a later stream because Jury is doing a membership stream before her like break starts, and I kind of want to participate in that. So I might start later on Sunday. It'll probably be something easy, like a Balatro or a Mahjong stream. Almost certainly one of those two. I have not played Balatro in a minute. It's also been a little while since I've done a Mahjong stream. And my Mahjong VOD is doing very well right now. So, you know, I might as well capitalize on it if I go that route. I'm not sure yet. But otherwise, I will see. And then Monday, obviously, Virtue's Last Reward. Wednesday will be undecided yet. I will let you know by Sunday. I gotta sweep you on Mahjong live before you leave. Okay, buddy, are you sure? Are you sure that'll be possible after a heavy drinking session? You're going full alcoholic, right? Oh, shit. I just don't know. I think I'm unstoppable. I don't know if you've been looking at my logs lately, but I played a game earlier today, Ricci City, first place again. Got myself a 3-weight hand, whole bunch of points. Immediately after, whole bunch of points. Immediately after, more points. I was dealer. I was rolling in it. I couldn't be stopped. And then this moron next to me gets like 2,000 points for his last hand. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm slowly climbing. I actually can't be beat on Ricci City right now. And so I think that that'll transition into Mahjong Soul as well. But we all know what needs to be done for the Hot Nun. And that is like, I just need to get some roll tickets so that I can roll for her. But otherwise, you know, I'm climbing. And Blue is getting his benefits, trust me. He will get his refer a friend referral bonuses. Need to play some today? But otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up here. I will talk to you all again on Sunday. Honestly, these Katamari streams, they bring up my spirits in a way that like nothing else does. It's so weird. Thank you for stopping by, Ginja. Thank you everybody who stopped by, whether it be through chat or lurking. I will read names. I almost forgot and just ended. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, Ginja. Thank you, Holland. Thank you, Cyan. Thank you, Jury. And thank you, Moon. That is everybody for... Oh, and Koi. Thank you, Koi, as well. I will see whoever on Sunday. Probably later. Probably whatever time like I feel like setting up during Jury's little membership thing. Otherwise, I will talk to you all another day. Goodbye.